Have you ever wondered what would happen if someone who always said yes suddenly said no? Well, I'm about to tell you the story of how I, a 70-year-old grandmother, finally found my voice. And trust me, it changed everything. But before we start, if you enjoy inspiring stories about courage and standing up for yourself, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story. It really helps us keep bringing you these amazing tales. My name is Rose, and I'm going to tell you about the biggest decision I ever made in my entire life. It was a regular Tuesday morning. I was in my kitchen making coffee when my son Michael walked through my front door. He didn't knock. He never did. He just walked in like he owned the place. "Mum, we need to talk," he said, not even saying good morning first. I turned around with my coffee cup in my hand. "What's going on, Michael?" "Sarah, the kids and her mother are moving in here. They need more space. We've already decided everything." I nearly dropped my cup. Did he just say what I think he said? "Wait, what?" I asked, hoping I heard wrong. "We're moving in. This Saturday. Don't worry, it won't be forever. Just until we find a bigger place." I stood there frozen. I'm 70 years old. I spent 40 years working hard to buy this house. I cleaned other people's homes, worked double shifts and saved every penny. And now my own son was telling me that 5 people were going to live here without even asking if I agreed. But here's the thing he didn't know. I was already thinking. I was already planning. This time, Rose wasn't going to stay quiet. My life. Before, let me tell you a bit about myself. I wasn't always this brave. For most of my life, I was the person who always said yes. When my husband was alive, he made all the decisions. Where we lived, what we ate, what we watched on TV. I just went along with it. I raised 5 children, working 2 jobs sometimes. I went years without buying myself new clothes because I was saving money. I wanted to own a house someday, a place that was truly mine. After my husband died 7 years ago, everything changed. Slowly, I started discovering who Rose really was. I learned how to use a smartphone. My granddaughter taught me over video calls, and now I'm pretty good at it. I have a group chat with my friends where we share recipes and funny pictures. I go for walks every morning at the park with other ladies my age. We talk, we laugh, we exercise together. I have my sewing room where I make beautiful things. I watch whatever TV shows I want. I eat whatever I feel like eating. For the first time in my life, I was happy living alone. I wasn't lonely. I was free. "So when exactly are you planning to move in?" I asked Michael, keeping my voice calm. "This Saturday." Sarah's already packing. The kids are so excited. Tommy and Emma keep asking when they can see their new rooms. "And where will everyone sleep?" "The kids will take your sewing room. Sarah's mom, Linda, will use the guest room. Sarah and I will sleep in the living room for now." My sewing room. The place where I spent peaceful afternoons creating things I loved. Gone. My guest room. The space I worked so hard to make nice. Taken. "And you didn't think to ask me first?" I said quietly. Michael laughed. Actually laughed. "Mum, don't be dramatic. You're getting older. You shouldn't live alone anyway. What if something happens and nobody's here to help you?" There it was. That phrase my children used whenever they wanted something from me. "You're getting older." As if turning 70 made me helpless. "Okay, Michael," I finally said. "Bring everyone on Saturday." He smiled big, kissed me on the forehead like I was a good little girl, and left. But Michael didn't know that I had a plan. A big plan. As soon as he left, I picked up my phone and called my best friend, Nancy. "Nancy, I need your help. Can you come over tomorrow morning?" "Of course. What's wrong?" "I'll tell you everything tomorrow." "But Nancy, It's time for me to do something I should have done a long time ago. That night, I couldn't sleep. I stayed awake thinking about every detail. Michael thought he knew me. He thought I would just accept whatever he decided. But he was wrong. The next morning, Nancy arrived right on time. She's 68 years old, also a widow, and one of the smartest people I know. We met at the park during our morning walks and became best friends. I told her everything. How Michael just announced his family was moving in. How he didn't ask, just told me. How he treated me like I didn't matter. And what did you tell him? Nancy asked. I told him it was fine to bring everyone on Saturday. Nancy looked shocked. Rose, why would you say that? I smiled. Because I have a plan. And I need your help. For months, I had been saving money. Every time I sewed clothes for the neighborhood ladies, I saved that money. Every bit of extra cash went into a secret bank account that Michael didn't know about. I had been thinking about this for a while. Michael kept making comments about how big my house was for just one person. His wife Sarah kept saying how nice it would be to live in a house instead of their small apartment. I knew what was coming, so I prepared. Nancy, I'm going to sell this house, I said. Her eyes went wide. You're going to what? I'm going to sell it and buy a smaller place. Somewhere nobody knows about. Somewhere that's completely mine. When? I've already started. I've been talking to a real estate agent for weeks. There's a nice little house in Sunset Village that I really like. 2 bedrooms, a small yard, perfect for just me. Nancy started smiling. Rose, you're brilliant. But I need your help. Can you come with me to the bank and the real estate office this week? Of course. I'll help you with everything. We spent the whole morning planning every detail. Nancy understood why I was doing this. Her own daughter tried something similar last year, suggesting Nancy should move to a smaller place so they could take care of her better. Really? They just wanted to sell Nancy's house and take the money. Our own children sometimes treat us worse than strangers, Nancy said. They think giving birth to them means they can control us forever. Exactly, I agreed. But not anymore. Not this time. An uncomfortable visit on Wednesday morning, Sarah came to visit. She brought donuts, trying to be sweet. Hi, Mom. I wanted to talk about the move on Saturday. Come in, Sarah. Want some coffee? Yes, please. I just want you to know we'll be very careful with your things. The kids are so excited. I served her coffee and sat down. So everything is packed. Almost. Tommy and Emma have already chosen their beds in your sewing room. And my mom is very grateful. She can't live alone anymore. She forgets things. Doesn't remember her medicine. She'd be safer here. There it was. They were making it sound like I was doing a good thing, helping poor Linda. But nobody asked if I wanted to help. Sarah, can I ask you something? Sure. Did you and Michael ask me if I wanted you to move in? She looked confused. Well, Michael said you were okay with it. He said you were lonely and would love the company. Lonely? Sarah, I'm not lonely. I have my friends, my activities, my life. This house isn't too big for me. It's perfect. Her face changed. But Michael said you agreed. He said you were happy about it. Michael never asked me. He just told me it was happening. Sarah was quiet for a long time. You don't want us to come? Would you want 5 people to move into your home without asking you first? She didn't answer. She just sat there, realizing maybe they had made a mistake. But we already packed everything. We already told the kids. We already told our landlord we're leaving the apartment. Those are problems you created without including me in the decision. Sarah stood up, not smiling anymore. Ethan told me you would agree. Michael was wrong. She left without saying goodbye, leaving the donuts on the table. I sat on my couch and took a deep breath. That was the first battle, and I won it. Thursday night, Michael came back. He was very angry. What did you say to Sarah? She's been crying all day. I told her the truth. That you never asked me if you could move in. Mom, are you serious? Everything is ready. We told the landlord we're leaving. The kids know they're moving. Michael, sit down. Let's talk like adults. I don't have time to talk. Saturday is moving day. You're not moving in here. He stared at me like I was crazy. What's wrong with you? You were never this selfish before. Selfish. There was that word. The word children use when parents don't do what they want. Michael, do you know how hard I worked to buy this house? Yes, I know you worked hard. But what's the point of having a big house if you don't share it with family? The point is so I can live in peace after 70 years of giving everything to everyone else. We're your family. Family helps each other. When was the last time you helped me, Michael? He couldn't answer. He knew I was right. He only visited when he needed something. If we were really family like you say, you would have asked my opinion before making this decision. Michael sat down, but not to talk nicely. He was angry. Sarah is crying. The kids packed their toys. Linda already sold her furniture. You can't do this to us. All of that happened because you made decisions without asking me. So you're seriously not going to let us come? That's right. You're not coming. Michael stood up, very angry. I'll come back with a lawyer. I'll prove you're too old to make good decisions. When you come back with your lawyer, make sure you bring papers showing this house is yours. Because I have all my papers showing it's mine. He left, slamming the door, yelling that I was selfish and heartless. But I felt calm. For the first time in my life, I stood up to my son. I said no, and meant it. Friday morning, Nancy and I went to the bank. I transferred money from my secret savings account. Then we went to the real estate office. Mr. Johnson, who had been helping me for weeks, had all the papers ready. Are you sure about this, Mrs. Rose? He asked. I'm 70 years old. I've made very few truly important decisions in my life because I was always thinking about others. This is my decision, and I'm completely sure. I signed every paper. My name, Rose Martinez, on each one. Perfect. You'll have the keys to your new house tomorrow. And the buyers for your current house are very happy. They've already paid the full amount. Nancy squeezed my hand. She knew how brave I was being. We went to lunch at a nice restaurant to celebrate. How do you feel? Nancy asked. I feel free. For the first time in my life, I feel completely free. That night, I packed my most important things. My favorite clothes, my photos, my sewing machine, my important papers. Not much, just what mattered most. Saturday morning came. It was a beautiful sunny day. At 9 o'clock. A big moving truck arrived at my house. Michael was driving. Behind him was Sarah's car with the kids and Linda. Other family members came too, ready to help move everything inside. I went outside to meet them. Good morning, I said calmly. Morning, Mum. The movers are going to start bringing everything in. Can you open the door wide? That won't be necessary, Michael. Everyone stopped moving. They all looked at me. What do you mean? Michael asked. You're not bringing anything into this house. The silence was so heavy you could almost feel it. Mum, what are you talking about? The truck is here. We brought all our stuff. And you're going to take all your stuff back. Michael came closer, his face red with anger. Are you crazy? Do you know how much this truck cost us? That's not my problem. I never asked you to rent a truck. Sarah got out of the car with the kids. Tommy and Emma looked confused. Grandma, why can't we come in? Little Emma asked. Because there's no room for you here, sweetie. Linda, Sarah's mother, got out of the car too. She looked weak and confused. "Where is my room?" "There is no room for you here, ma'am," I said respectfully but firmly. Michael turned bright red. "Mom, you can't do this. We have nowhere to live. That's a problem you created when you made decisions without asking me." The moving men stood there, not sure what to do. One of them, an older man, spoke up. "Sir, if the lady says it's her house and she doesn't want us to unload, we can't unload." Michael started yelling. "I'm going to get a lawyer. I'm going to prove you're too old to make decisions." "Go ahead, Michael. In the meantime, get your truck out of my driveway." Sarah started crying. She picked up Emma, who was also crying now. "Mum, please think about the children. Where are we going to sleep tonight?" "The children aren't to blame, Sarah. But neither am I. You should have thought about them before making decisions without a backup plan." "You're heartless," Michael shouted. Just then, Nancy arrived in her car. She came to support me. "Is everything all right, Rose?" she asked. "Everything is perfectly fine, Nancy. They were just leaving." Michael glared at Nancy. "This is your fault. You put these crazy ideas in her head." Nancy stayed calm. "Young man, your mother doesn't need anyone to give her ideas. She's smart enough to think for herself. This isn't over." Michael yelled as he got back in the truck. "I'll be back with a lawyer." "When you come back with your lawyer," I called out, "make sure you bring papers proving this house belongs to you. Because I have all mine proving it's mine." They left with all their boxes still in the truck, feeling embarrassed and angry. When they were gone, Nancy hugged me. "How do you feel?" "I feel free, Nancy. For the first time in 70 years, I feel completely free." All afternoon, my phone kept ringing. My sister called angry. Other relatives called, all saying the same thing. I was being mean. I should help my son. How could I do this to family? I turned off my phone. I didn't need to hear the same thing over and over. That evening, Michael came back. This time he brought his godfather, Mr. Rodriguez, who always tried to solve family problems. "Good evening, Rose. Can we talk?" Mr. Rodriguez asked. "Come in." They sat in my living room like it was a business meeting. "Rose, Michael told me what happened. I think there's been a misunderstanding." "There's no misunderstanding. Michael decided to move his family into my house without asking me. But Rose, the boy is desperate. He doesn't have an apartment anymore. The children need a place to sleep. Those are all results of decisions he made without including me." Mr. Rodriguez sighed like I was being difficult. "Rose, I know you feel hurt that they didn't ask. But now we need to find solutions. Are you really going to let them sleep in their car?" "They're not sleeping in a car. They're staying at Sarah's parents' house." Michael is making it sound worse than it is. Mr. Rodriguez looked surprised. He didn't expect me to know the truth. "Rose, what do you need to reconsider? Should they pay rent? Should there be special rules?" "I don't need anything. I just want them to respect my decision." "And what is your final decision?" "They are not living in my house." Michael stood up, furious. "Fine. I get it. You'd rather live alone than help your family. I'd rather live with respect than be used in my own home." Mr. Rodriguez realized he couldn't change my mind. "Rose, I hope you don't regret this. I've regretted not making my own decisions for years. I won't regret starting now." They left quietly. Michael was defeated. Before he walked out the door, he turned and said meanly, "One day you'll be old and sick, and you'll need someone to take care of you." "When that day comes," I replied calmly, "I'll hire someone who treats me with respect." That night, I felt such peace. I had stood my ground against everyone. Rose had won the most important battle of her life. Sunday morning, Mr. Johnson came to my house with a folder and a smile. Good morning, Mrs. Rose. I'm here to give you the keys to your new house. The keys. I finally held them in my hand. Keys to my new life. My new beginning. And here are the papers for selling this house. Everything went perfectly. The buyers already paid the full amount. I signed the last papers, feeling excited and a little bit sad. This house had been my dream for 40 years. But now it was time to move on. When do you need to leave? Today, if possible. The buyers want to move in this week. Perfect. Nancy arrived with her car to help me move my things. As we were loading boxes, my neighbor, Mrs. Garcia, came over. She had lived next door for years. Rose, are you really leaving? Yes, Mrs. Garcia. I'm moving today. Don't you feel bad leaving your house? I feel worse about the years I spent not truly living my life. She didn't understand, but she said goodbye politely. We were almost finished loading when Michael arrived. He was alone this time, looking shocked. What's happening? Why are you loading your things? I'm moving, Michael. Moving where? To my new house. He looked like someone hit him. Your new house? What money did you use? My money, Michael. Money I saved for years. And this house? I sold it. His face went completely white. He started shaking. You sold the house? You sold our house? I sold my house, Michael. It was never yours. But it was the family house. It was our inheritance. There was the truth. He didn't care about my happiness. He was upset about losing the house he thought he would inherit someday. Your inheritance is the education I gave you, the love I showed you, the opportunities I provided. This house was always mine. Mom, you can't do this. Stop the sale. It's already done, Michael. The papers are signed. The money is in the bank. He sat on the curb and started crying. Not because he was sad about me. He was sad about the money and house he lost. Where are we supposed to live? Where will my children sleep? That's something you need to figure out, like any other adult. Nancy finished loading the car and motioned that it was time to go. Michael, I'm leaving now. I hope someday you understand that what I did wasn't to hurt you. It was to respect myself. You can't just leave. I already did. I got in Nancy's car. In the mirror, I saw Michael running after us, yelling for me to come back. But it was too late. Rose had closed one chapter and opened a brand new one. My new house was perfect. Smaller than the old one, but it had everything I needed. 2 bedrooms, a cozy living room, a nice kitchen, and a little garden. It's beautiful, Rose. You're going to love it here. Nancy said. She was right. For the first time ever, I had a space that was completely mine with no strings attached. That afternoon, while I was arranging my things, my phone rang. It was Alauia. Mrs. Rose Martinez. This is Attorney Williams. I represent your son, Michael. He wants to contest the sale of your house. So Michael really did hire Alauia. Sir, that house was mine. I have all the papers to prove it. My client says the sale was made when you were emotionally upset, and that the family has rights. I almost laughed. Michael was trying to say I was crazy, or that his family owned part of my house. Sir, I am 70 years old. I don't have dementia. I have all my mental abilities. And the house was only in my name. Your client has no legal claim. Would you consider compensation? There is nothing to discuss. Goodbye. I hung up. Michael wasn't going to give up easily. But I didn't care anymore. I had made my decision, and there was no going back. 3 months later. 3 months after moving, my life was completely different. Every morning I woke up without the weight of other people's expectations. I did what I wanted, when I wanted. Nancy visited every Tuesday and Thursday. I had met my new neighbours too. Mrs. Patterson, who was 72 and taught knitting classes, and Mrs. Chun, who was 68 and baked cakes to sell from her home. You know what I love most about living here? I told Nancy over coffee one morning. What? Nobody knows me as Michael's mom or Sarah's mother-in-law. Here, I'm just Rose. I had joined a painting class at the community centre. I was sewing again, but now making things for myself. I even learned how to post photos on Instagram. The money from selling my house let me buy this new place and have savings. For the first time in my life, I didn't depend on anyone financially. That felt amazing. Have you heard from Michael? Nancy asked. His lawyer called 2 more times, but I don't answer anymore. My sister told me they finally found a bigger apartment to rent. Life had moved on for everyone. Michael had to face the results of his choices, but he figured out his housing problem without taking over my house. Don't you miss them? I thought about it carefully. I miss the idea I had of them. I miss thinking they valued me. But I don't miss feeling used. That was the honest truth. For years, I thought being useful meant being loved. Being needed meant being respected. But those things are different. One Sunday afternoon, I was watering my garden when the doorbell rang. It was Tommy and Emma, my grandchildren. They were alone, which surprised me. Grandma, Tommy yelled, running to hug me. Hi, my sweethearts. What are you doing here? Where are your parents? Dad is in the car, Emma explained. He told us to tell you he misses you. So Michael sent the kids to talk to me. He was using them to make me feel bad. Do you miss me? I asked, kneeling down to their level. Yes, Grandma. Why don't you live in the big house anymore? Because I bought a nicer house where I'm happier. Can we see it? Of course. I showed them my new home. Their eyes got big when they saw my sewing room with all the colourful fabrics. It's so pretty. Can you teach us to sew? Emma asked. Sure. When your parents say it's okay, you can come visit on weekends and I'll teach you. We played for an hour. I made them their favourite cookies. We watched cartoons. We took silly pictures together. These were real moments. No pressure, no hidden agenda. Just a grandma enjoying time with her grandkids. When my phone rang, I knew it was Michael asking about the children. Mum, are the kids there? Yes, they're here and very happy. Can we come get them? You can come pick them up. But only that. I won't argue with you in front of them. 10 minutes later, Michael and Sarah arrived. They looked tired and more serious than before. Hi, Mom, Michael said more quietly than last time. Hello, Michael. The children were very well behaved. Sarah barely looked at me. She was still upset. Mom, can we talk for a minute? I already said I won't discuss anything in front of the kids. It's not to argue. I want to say I'm sorry. I didn't expect that. Michael, my proud son, was apologizing. Kids, go play in the garden for a few minutes, I said, when they left. Michael sat on my couch and took a deep breath. Mum, these past few months have been really hard. Not just because of money, but because I realized I never asked what you wanted. And now you understand? Yes, I made decisions about your life without thinking about your feelings. I'm sorry. It was progress. Not a perfect apology, but it was a start. What do you expect from me, Michael? I don't expect anything. I just wanted you to know I was wrong. Sarah stayed quiet, but I saw something change in her eyes too. Maybe she understood now that mothers aren't just tools to solve other people's problems. Michael, I'm not your enemy. I never was. But I will never again be the woman who says yes to everything without being asked how I feel. I understand. Do you really? Or are you just saying what you think I want to hear? He thought before answering. That gave me hope. I think I understand. And I think I think I'm scared to admit that my mom has a right to live her own life. It was the most honest thing he had ever said to me. The children can visit me whenever they want. They can stay on weekends if you need time for yourselves. But they come as loved guests, not as my duty. Really? Really? But on one condition. You respect me the way you would respect anyone else who's helping you. He nodded, looking more humble than I'd seen in years. When they left, I sat in my living room looking at the photos I took with Tommy and Emma. They were beautiful, innocent, full of life. It wasn't their fault. Their parents made the choices they did. That now our relationship would be on my terms. I would be the grandma who loved them enough to teach them that older women deserve respect too.